Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our team training, team all in training. Nada, our fearless leader, Nada, isn't here tonight. She's at another event, but she's asked that if we could play the leadership call from Monday, and we're going to concentrate on the section. There's 4 weeks leading up to our Impact Summit. So this is our 4 weeks of leadership coming up to that. So I am just going to play. I decided I would start with Stephen for a little bit here.
To the call today. And you may have noticed that the call was the title of today's call. The topic was our summer leadership series. And this was the first week of it. Over the next 4 weeks, we're going to go through a summer leadership series where we focus on our weekly leadership calls, specifically on personal development and leadership growth, each and every call over the next 4 weeks. And we'll have different topics, we'll discuss different things, but it's all going to be about how we can, all of us, increase our personal development and increase our leadership growth over the next 4 weeks leading up to and into Impact Summit. And why is it so important? I'll share this, and then I'm going to hand it over to Ashley for our main training today. I was taught by my mentor in this industry that if you take a look at what is the requirements for success in the field of building a successful neo-life business, a successful direct selling business, he said in his experience, this is what it boils down to if you took it and you look at like a pie chart. That 25% of the equation of success is going to be your ability to know about the products, to learn the products, to be able to talk about the products, to be able to help get other people started on products, to be able to coach people on the products, to be able to answer questions on the products, to be a product of the products. But 25% of the equation of success in your business is going to be the products. And everything I just mentioned, being able to talk about the products, being able to get people started on products, being able to coach people on products, being able to answer questions about the products, etc. But 25% of the equation is going to be that right there. It's going to be the product focus. He said then the other 25% of the equation of success, or 25% more of the equation of success in this industry and building a business in the field, is going to be about the business opportunity. It's going to be about being able to explain the business opportunity. It's going to be being able to recruit people to the business opportunity, to be able to onboard new distributors into the opportunity, and to be able to teach, train, and mentor others on how to launch, grow, and scale their business. And so he was saying, so what he was showing me was that's even 50% of success here in building a business in the field is going to be about the products and the business opportunity. And most people think those two equations are 100%. Most people think that 50% of the equation is about all the product stuff, and the other 50% about the business opportunity. And that's the equation for success. And he said that unfortunately that's not it. It's 25% products, 25% about the business opportunity, but 50% of success from a promoter, by a distributor, 50% of the equation of success is going to be about personal development and leadership growth. Personal development and leadership growth. And here's what personal development and leadership growth is going to allow. The two most important aspects of personal development and leadership growth, this is what's going to create. The two stumbling blocks that most people have, in my opinion, two big stumbling blocks, is one, most people who get started and want to build a neo-life business or a direct selling business lack the ability to truly create and articulate and expand their own personal vision. For whatever they cannot create a compelling vision for their own future. They cannot create and they cannot expand that vision and articulate a big vision for their life and for their business and for their family. And I believe that personal development, leadership growth is the ingredient that allows people to be able to open up their ability, to be able to create a vision for themselves and a good vision for their family, to be able to articulate that vision to others and to be able to expand that vision over time. I think a lack of vision is such a massive reason most people never create a life-changing business. They never have the ability to create a big life-changing vision. And I think how do you get the ability to create a vision is through personal development and leadership growth. When you pour into yourself through personal development and through leadership growth, what I'm going to talk about in just a moment, that is going to give you the ability to open our minds, open to be able to start thinking about a bigger future, a brighter future, to create this, to be able to paint this vision for ourselves and for our families of where we're going with this business and what it's going to allow, and the belief that we can actually do it. So I think the first thing that pouring into personal development and leadership growth is going to allow for you is your ability to be able to paint your own vision and paint the vision and help paint the vision of what this can be for others. The second reason personal development and leadership growth is so critically important in this business is that the second thing that stops most people in building this business is fear. The fear of others, fear of rejection, fear of success, fear of failure. Fear is a massive limiting factor for so many people. And so how do you overcome fear? Well, through personal development.
It's muted, Cyndy.
We can't hear Cyndy.
To truly overcome all the fears that's going to keep us from the success that we want. So that's why I think this is so critically important. And so I'll finish with this. You may go, well, Stephen, like, what does it really mean to have personal development and a plan, a leadership growth plan? Like, what does that tangibly look like? And then I'm going to finish that, and then Ashley, I'm going to hand it to you, and you take all the time that you need. But I want to give you 5 things that I think, this is not all encompassing, but 5 things that I think are important in a personal growth and leadership plan. And the number one is a desire or a hunger to seek wisdom and knowledge. You got to have a desire to seek wisdom and knowledge. And specifically, I think one of the biggest ways to do that is through reading. Or listening to great podcasts and things along those lines. But there's nobody, but everybody would tell you that, you've heard it said before, that readers are leaders. Absolutely. Leaders are readers. And so are you reading and listening to content that's going to grow you personally? Like, for example, I will not miss a Craig Groeschel leadership podcast. He does them every single month. I've listened to all of them, and I'll re-listen to some of them because it's a way that I can pour into myself every month, right? I've got a stack of books here that I'm going to be reading and going through on personal development, leadership growth every year, every week, etc. Second is not being a personal development plan is not being afraid to learn something new. You've got to, in order to grow personally and to grow your leadership, you got to learn new things. And so not being afraid to be able to learn new things. Number 3 is you got to be open to feedback. It's very, very hard to grow from a personal development standpoint and leadership standpoint without the input of others. And so you got to be open to feedback, right? It's like feedback is the breakfast of champions. And I really do believe that. So are we open to feedback? Because most people, not most, everybody, we all have so many blinders of what's hindering or hurting us from being able to thrive at our highest potential. Number 4 is you got to find a mentor. Find a mentor, someone that is willing to pour into you, do life with you, share their knowledge and wisdom with you. But you got to have a mentor. I think that's the number 1 most important factor for personal growth and leadership development is to have a trustworthy, respected, wise mentor who can provide you counsel and insight, who can also give you the feedback and let you know where you need to grow, where are blind spots. And then number 5 is keep a journal. Keep a journal weekly or daily that you can, this can help you with some self-assessment of, are you growing? Where do you need to grow? What are you learning? What do you need to learn, etc. And that's just a starter of some things that you could do to begin this personal development plan. Seek hunger. Or seek and hunger for wisdom and knowledge through what you're reading. Are we reading daily? Right now, find something and learn something new. What is something new that you want to learn from a personal development standpoint that can take your life to the next level? Be open to feedback. Seek feedback. Be so thankful when you receive feedback. Find a mentor that you can do life with, and then keep a journal for self-assessment and self-auditing over time. So that actually, I'm sorry, I went way longer than was planned. I was so much longer than planned. Please, go as long as you want. Turn it over to you.
No, I think that was wonderful. And it's actually great that you went longer. And I thought it was such a good training. We have actually one more announcement in the field that is exciting. So I'm going to give a quick tip. And then next week, I'm going to do the training that I thought I was going to do today. And then we're going to make one more announcement, if that's okay with everyone. We're also going to find out who stays on to the end of these calls, because you guys are going to know something that no one else does. So one of the tips that when Whit and I were talking this morning that I think is essential as you're leading a team here is to be very aware to celebrate the smallest win and acknowledge the slightest try. So, when you're working with people and they are looking to lose weight, we've got to celebrate the smallest win, right? We have to make sure that we are in their lives. We are talking to them so that we know what a small win is, so that we know when they've made progress. When you're working with somebody in the field and they're wanting to make money, we've got to make sure that we are locked in with them and we know when they've made $10 so that we can call them and congratulate them and say, all right, look, I know $10 is not going to save you in retirement, but it totally bought that Starbucks today, right? Or maybe they're not drinking Starbucks anymore. That would be great. But, it totally bought that expensive, coffee this morning. But we've got to celebrate the smallest win because people desire celebration. People desire recognition. And we've got to honor the slightest try. This is one of the core components that we go over at our marriage retreat because it's so important. When someone is looking to make a life change, when someone is looking to do better, when someone's looking to be better, the fastest way for someone to become disengaged and disenchanted with what they're doing that's new, it's to not be celebrated when they have a small win, because then they're not encouraged to go get bigger wins. And then honoring the slightest try. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be right, but we want to honor that try. So when someone gets on a leadership call and they're brand new, celebrate the heck out of that. When someone puts someone on a three-way call, celebrate the heck out of that. And if they're trying, honor that try. We're not going to get to diamond overnight. So it's so important that along the way, we as leaders are there in their lives and we know what's happening so that we can be connected to them. So that's my quick tip for the day. Now I'm Whit would have normally announced this, but I got permission to do it while he was talking. So we've got a really cool new feature that is going to make your life so much easier. So have you ever been on our website and something went wrong and you didn't know who to talk to about it, right? Maybe it's the middle of the night and you're like, okay, I know Jessica Pate is asleep right now, so I don't want to reach out to her. Or maybe some of you, I know you do this, you just text me and Whit and we're like, oh man, we don't know how to fix that, but we'll tell the people, right? Here's what happens when that happens though. You text me and you're like, the interwebs are broken. And I'm like, okay. So then I call Brian and I'm like, Brian, the interwebs are broken. And he was like, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, I don't know. They just said it's not working all over Canada, right? And he's like, well, the internet's not down all over Canada, Ashley. What's the problem? And I'm like, I don't know. No more. We are not going to have to worry or wonder anymore because now we have a fast track, simplified system to address any issues that you have with technology and with the website. Can I get an amen from the choir? Okay, so I am going to screen share. Oh, actually, wait, will you let me screen share? Okay, so I am going to screen share really quick and I'm going to show you where you can find this. For 1 second, I want to make sure that I'm on the right page. So what Brian and the team have created is a report, a bug or issue link, and There we go. Let me get it up here. There we go. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is my screen. So look, this is me on a Shop Neolife website, right? You go all the way down to the bottom, and there's a brand new link that you can click. It says report a bug or issue, please submit this form. So if you are trying to sign someone up and it doesn't work, if you are trying to do something and you get the spinning wheel of death, if you go in and there are no prices being shown for something, now we have a beautiful new place to report that. If I click this, did it change on your screen with? Can you see?
Yes.
Okay, so this is the form that you guys are going to fill out. And the reason I want to walk you through it is I want you to see how incredible it is. This is our new bug tracker form. And it is going to enable, just what it says, it's going to enable Neolife to better identify and resolve the problems and issues that pop up for you guys every day. All right, so first you're going to put when you first experience the issue, you're going to tell them exactly what you're using, whether it's a tablet, a desktop, or you're on your mobile phone. And then you're going to put the URL in the browser. Here's why I wanted to show you this. You're going to go to the top of your screen and you're just going to click copy. You're going to go up to this bar. You're going to click copy and you're going to paste it into this form right there because our team needs to know what website you're on and what is messing up for you. So you're going to copy that at the top of the page and pop it in right here. You're going to enter a few short words to describe what's happening, like retail price not showing on a product page. Then you're going to go down and you're going to put whether it's a bug, which means it usually doesn't happen. There's a glitch here. Or maybe there's a feature that you would like on the website. You can click feature or something else. Or I love that they put something else and I don't know, because we all know that those are two totally different things sometimes. All right. Then you can go down and set a priority. I need you to understand what urgent is, guys. Do not click urgent for everything because everything's not urgent. It is urgent if you cannot process a transaction. It is urgent if the interwebs are broken. It is not urgent if it's, I don't know. I can't even come up. I mean, I was going to say things, but then you guys have texted me about those and I don't want to like throw anybody out there. We all know what urgent is, right? So you select urgent, very important, important. It would be nice to do this, or it's not a priority, but I would like you to know about it, right? Okay, and then down here, these are very important. They want to know what operating system you're running, whether you've got an Apple, if you're running on a Mac, or you're on your phone and it's an Android, maybe you have Windows and that's what you're operating on. It matters because we need to know how you're seeing this. And then you want to tell us the browser that you're using, whether you're using Chrome or Safari, and you all will be able to figure all this out. You guys are going to be so much better at diagnosing your own problems even after this. And then you're going to drop a detailed description right here about what's happening. And then the best thing that you can do is to grab a screenshot and put it right here because the team can really see what's happening from your end. This is super easy to do if you're on a phone. You just take a screenshot and you're going to find it in your photos. And then you're going to put your contact information because they want to be able to reach out to you if they have more information that they need or if they've resolved the problem. The greatest part about this for me is it's an easy access for anyone that's having trouble, and it's going to immediately ping all of the right people to start working on your problem. And you don't have to worry about going through extra channels of people that don't know how to fix it and are really, really bad at explaining what you explained to me. Like, I'm a terrible middleman. The interwebs are broken is generally what I say when one of you tells me that something is wrong. So you are going to be able to find this link at the bottom of all of your page. It's there. It's at the bottom of the page in English and Spanish for the US. It's at the bottom of the page in English and French at the bottom of your Canadian sites. So you're going to be able to find that on all of your replicated sites. This is huge. And we're so excited about this form. The first time we played with it, I realized the power of it. And just last week, someone texted me with a problem. I was able to send it over to them. They sent it in, and we had an answer about what was happening in the website and what was going on in minutes. So I really believe that you all are going to be super excited about this. I believe that you all are going to feel more power, if you will, because there's nothing more powerless than not being a technology person and technology failing you. Am I right? Like you don't know what's going on. The interwebs are broken and you need to sign someone up. now you're going to be able to communicate directly with someone that can tell you, "Ooh, it's not broken, you are," right? Some of you are going to get that message back, but I hate to tell you, they're going to message you and say, "Okay, it's not us, it's you. Like, we love you, but this is how you fix it." And note those things so that you can then turn around and train your team on them. If you ever get an answer that it's just something that we're doing wrong on our end, note that and put that into your next team training. And we're going to really start to streamline the technology side of this house. And I'm super duper excited about it. Whit, do you have anything else to add to that?
No, not to that at all. The only thing I was gonna say is I'm so thankful that well, I guess when I was going long on explaining the Summer Leadership Series, that we were able to get the notification that that's live and to be able to share it with you all in the field. I'm so glad to know that went live during this time. And actually, I think it all worked out perfectly this week that everything happened the way it did. Because I'm just gonna tell you what you're gonna experience next week. I want to encourage you right now. If you have not gotten your team on a weekly leadership call, you want to get everybody on next week. And I can't over promote next week's Summer Leadership Series week 2 enough. I'll give you the what's it called? The commercial for what's coming next week. Actually, we'll be doing a training on understanding and working with the 4 different major personality types. This could change your business more than anything else. When you understand the 4 main personality types and how they like to be talked to and how they like to receive information and what motivates them and what turns them off or what annoys them, like it will change how you share Neo Life with different people. It'll change how you coach your team members who have different personalities. Actually, anything you want to say before? And so I'm so glad we didn't get to do it this week because we're going to have next week, there'll be no announcements. We'll be going just straight into the training on this. And it'll be one of the most eye-opening trainings that it was for me when you see this, you'll be laughing. You'll be dying. You'll be laughing because you'll be like, "Oh my goodness, I didn't realize I was talking this way to this personality type. No wonder they did not like what I had to share." So Ashley, anything you want to say before next week? I cannot encourage you enough. Get your team on next week's call with Ashley. It'll be so powerful. It'll change the way people share Neo Life with people.
Only no pressure on my side. I mean, I've got the greatest intro ever, so I'm going to do some additional research this week, guys, so that I don't fail you.
Okay, sorry about those glitches, guys. Sorry, but what did you guys think of that? Yeah, this is the second time I listened to it last night because I couldn't get on Monday. But it was late, so I certainly got more out of it this time than I did the first time.
Me too.
Mhm.
I got very excited when I saw that because of all those 4 personality types, and I thought, I don't know what I don't know yet, so I really want to see it.
Yeah,
And I like that he broke down in the personal development and leadership plan, the 5 points that he's going to address. So there's
yeah, that was great.
always something good. So these seem to be really directed at us being all of the members and promoters in Canada and in the United States. So I'm sure that they're pretty pumped about it too.
Yeah, and and I like about that, celebrate the smallest win that Ashley was talking about. And even the slightest try, right? We hear sometimes, yeah. I think sometimes if we've been doing this for so long, we forget how it is at the very beginning. So I think that's a great reminder always. And even if people have been doing it as long as so many of us, we still all want to be recognized, right? Even for something that's the smallest. So absolutely.
I like how we broke down the 25%, the products, the business, And that 50%, I think we don't take enough time. And I mean, Laura May, you here, right? The vision, we would, we have a session. Okay, this is what I want, but you have to really sit down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guilty too. Or else I'd be a diamond, right? You're taking the time and really, really figure out your vision, right? It takes,
Yeah,
you have to spend that time. And I don't think we put enough
Emphasis.
emphasis.
I know, I'm guilty of that too, Joan.
Mhm.
Else we'll be all rubies, we'd be high advanced, our rank advanced would be higher if we were doing that. And I
Yeah,
think the part two as well, we create our own vision, right? And also
Create your vision. Yeah.
also help our team to create that vision as well too, because they need help. Because sometimes it's new to them too, right? It's new to a new person, right? I learned this by being part of Neolife, so we have to help them along.
yeah, certainly not something that we're taught as children. I think, well, Laura May probably her own children, she's probably taught them because of her joy journaling and stuff, but we're not taught that at a young age, or certainly not in school or any of that, right? So it's,
Mm.
yeah, handful of people.
If
Leonie,
any, if
And
And
anything,
I think it also helps that was just be able to articulate, paint your vision. I think like for me, I mean, sometimes I go, there's so many, you think so many. And then I think for me, I got to hone it down to like one major one, because I have small little ones. And then it makes, I think it just scatters me at times, and you have to paint it. So I think more focus. So if I know this is one big thing, that everything under it, yeah, comes under that umbrella, I know that what I have to do. So it's getting distracted by all the little things. Well, not little, but just things, right? So that takes me off my path at times, a lot of times. Yeah, and it's scattered, right? It gets scattered, and I'm talking personally. And you're right, Joan, because I think if there's more focus and your team too, like for example, the other day I was talking to John. I mean, I've been talking to John for a little bit, but he's like all over the place. And I'm saying to him, I said, okay, what do you really want? And he couldn't really define it, because he just makes a statement, and all of us do that. But I think to go to the nitty-gritty things, to do that, the steps to come to what it is we want. And I think it's very important, for us to be able to progress towards what we really want. And that doesn't mean that you can't switch it. You can change it, you do a revamp, you do a relook. But I think, like for me anyway, I'm just talking for myself there.
yeah, but I think that is hard, and that's like, I know we've been in some trainings that try to get us like right down, right to the
Mhm.
like nitty gritty, and so I think that applies to many people. Laura May, were you going to say something?
I was just going to say a big part of it is also the awareness that the change comes from understanding that we actually have to unlearn a lot of what the school has taught us. You were
Mm.
making the point that we don't learn this in school. Well, no, it's on purpose.
Hmm.
In a lot of ways, the system is designed to pigeonhole and
Mhm.
really have people thinking what in a way that is all about what is good for the system, as opposed to the independence of entrepreneurship. So I think the little things, the distractions, doesn't matter how much joy journaling I do, I'm a part of this as well. All of us have to really understand that the repetition of the new story of permission to have the things that we want, and that it goes against the paradigm that that's been insidiously entrenched in every area of our lives. So
Mhm.
yes, the personal development is key, because if you understand that, then you know why you get pulled into the external results drama, right? There's always a lot of distraction. There's always a lot of pull. And the message is, don't be independent. Don't go for your dreams. Don't, who do you think you are? So we're all up against that, quote unquote, up against that. And so being patient with ourselves and understanding that depending on how insidiously affected we've been individually and how we've attributed to it for in our lives with the people that we're growing up, as it were, our influence, then we're up against that paradigm with our clients. We're up against that paradigm, like it's going to show up in our businesses because we're dealing with humans that are all walking around with this limited mindset, right? So it's that remembering that it's very important to remember that front and center, and the reading every day, and the building those new neural pathways in our minds of open possibility, and simultaneously getting extremely clear on our why. What are we doing this for, right? And I know you all know this, and I know it too. And then like I said, being patient with ourselves and our customers, and being consistent in that. If we keep showing up and practicing and eating the humble pie and saying, I know this is really, really distracting. I know this can be really, some days are harder than others. And then just going back to the table, back to the practice, back to the table, back to the practice, and building those neural pathways. The neural pathways are really deeply in our brains, and so we have to create new ones. It's like a path through the back 40. The first time you go through the back 40, if it's never been entrenched, if you've never walked the path, it's like there are a lot of brambles and spiders and all sorts of stuff you have to trudge through. But if you do it every day for 40 days, you start to have a path, right? It starts to have a clear path. Well, that's how our neural pathways and growth mindset work, is that messaging that I'm going to do this. I know my why. This is important, all those things. So it sounds so simple, but it actually goes against what we've been taught. So it's not simple, because it's everything differently than what we were told our worth was based on. I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Laura May.
Yeah, you know what, Laura May, you're absolutely right. And because when you're talking about that as a society, that's why, like, for example, I grew up in Singapore, and they stream the kids. If you didn't do too well, like depending, you would be the technical, which is the trades, or the academic. So they already stream you at 12 years old. And we all know people grow at different, different times of their lives, and they mature at different times, but they already slot you. And they have this triangular thing where they slot the it's like the top echelon, and it goes down the hill, down the pyramid, so to speak, where the bottom ones are the laborers, are the diggers, or the whatever, and you are slotted. Psychologically, they tell you this is where you're streamed, this is where, and then you go to that thing, and you never think beyond that, because you think, okay, this is where I am. And you're right, because it's a hard thing to unlearn, right? And then you don't dare to dream. You don't know how to dream because you never taught. You're right. So there's so many things in society where they dictate what you are. And that's not, when I listened to that and when I heard what you're saying, and I can so relate to that, and we have to break that and make our new mold. And it's not easy to do, but you have to unlearn stuff. And as you say, get through those brambles and those spiders, do your own, right? Yeah. Interesting. Yeah.
Good. I'm really happy with everything that came out of this. Really, I think our talks after, right? So much always comes forth. But anybody else wanted to add anything before we close? Because I'm just gonna head over to.
I have one question. You said 40 days. What 40 days? Why 40? Laura May?
Well, it was just an example, but if we do it once or twice, it's going to fill back in pretty quickly.
True.
But 40 days is like you're saying every day, I'm getting up, I'm doing this. And then on the way, when I get to the edge of the new path, I'm going to turn around, come back. I'm going to do this. Or 30 days. I mean, that's a big number for us at Neolife, right? Doing something, the same thing every day. the dedication of doing the detox and then making sure you're healthy and well throughout the next 30 days. You're really thinking about it. That's building new neural pathways, but you have to keep going for sure, but you've started it. And the brain says, oh, here's a new choice. Like, here's a new pathway to focus in on. So we all have the memory of doing the 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, year, whatever our goals have been. We remember that is in our brain now, of even if we didn't want to, we did it anyway because we had made the decision. So I was using 40 days because, archetypally, that's a great number too. So, but it's the bottom line is you fall off, you get right back up, you go back, just like the detox, right? We feel so good after the detox. We realize that if we have a lot of fruits and vegetables and water in our house, that we're going to, and we have to during the detox, we're going to go back to the fruits and vegetables I'm hungry. I'm going to go get radishes and cucumber and I'm going to nibble on that. But then we forget and we fall off. And then we remember, oh yeah, what did we do on the detox? Oh yeah, we brought in all the fruits and vegetables and we made these cool salads and we got out the cayenne pepper with our ginger and then we fall off and then we come back. And so, but every time we do it, it's now in there. And that's understanding that with our teams too, that if someone's done it once, we can remind them, well, do you remember when we did the detox and we were disciplined? That's what we're talking about, the making of decisions. Because if you make the decision, then when you go to somebody offers you an ice cream during detox, we all know what to answer. No, because the decision was already made ahead. There's no temptation to have the ice cream. I mean, you might want it, but you've made a decision and everything in you says, I'm doing this. So it's getting back on that and making the decision and then practice and then building that and then remembering that it's in there somewhere in your consciousness that you can do this, and then reminding ourselves and our clients of the success, even the littlest successes helps to build those new habits. So, but we have to keep studying because it opens our mind to things we didn't have access to. There's nothing wrong with the base of the student school system, but we also have to see the limitations in order to transcend.
Well, thank you guys. This was really great. I'm gonna stop the recording.